Hi, nice to see you all. My name is Alix Wiseman, and I work for 9 Story Media Group, also known as 9 Story Distribution International. It's a Canadian animation studio and production company based in Toronto. And then last year we bought Brown Bag Films, who some of you may know, based in Dublin, CG Studio. I look after acquisitions across the company and also distribution, which is headquartered now in Dublin. And I do business development in Europe, Middle East, and Africa. So I'm very interested in ideas and co-production pitches and always looking for great shows for acquisition. So I'm going to tell you a little bit about us. Just to give you a sense of what we do, a third of our work is service work. A third is wholly owned IP, which we're in production on, we're producing or developing, and a third of our work is commissioned. So we do a lot of work with Nickelodeon and Disney, Cartoon Network, Netflix, Amazon. We have quite a lot of shows that we're making for them. We have a 2D studio in Toronto, we have another 2D studio in Manchester, and we have a CG studio in Dublin. I suppose on average you could say we might have at least 15 production lines, as we call them, going on in all our different locations around the world, which makes up about 600 people right now and growing. So this is our mission and vision. I mean, all companies have visions and missions which are not dissimilar to this. But just to summarize, I suppose what we'd say is that what our primary objective is just to create global content. I know that everybody wants to do that, but it's actually easier said than done. We really try and make shows which will be interesting for all platforms, and we're in a continual process of trying to master that. And importantly, to have all our shows be creator-led is a very important thing for us as well. We want someone who's going to be at the helm of the project, who's going to lead it with vision and passion and real enthusiasm, and that's kind of our underlying criteria for everything that we do. Here's a little snapshot of the work we've done so far. If you can run that, please. So international distribution, that's what I'm going to be talking about today. So I'm not talking about the production or the development side of our business. So as you saw, we have a catalogue of just over 2,000 or 2,500 half hours. And at least 50% of that is third-party IP, so that's a really important part of our business. I'm always out there. In fact, many of us are out there looking constantly for great new shows which we can acquire for our catalogue. We like to keep it, we have a very well-structured sales team, so we have the ability to look after quite a lot of shows, but we also don't want to be exponentially big. We're not looking for huge amounts of volume. We work at the heart of an animation studio, so we understand the process intimately. We understand how important storyboarding is. We understand how important the creative credentials are of the team and writers, and the process is so important to us that we really look at those qualities in a production as well whenever we're making something. It's very important to us to understand about who's directing and writing and producing a show. We also understand a lot about the challenges, about delivering on time and scheduling and budgets. And so consequently, we're really very selective about what we pick up for distribution. This is just a little snapshot of the kind of travel that we do. We go to all the markets, and we have 6 dedicated salespeople. We have a YouTube channel team. We have a really experienced legal, finance, technical, and marketing and PR teams, and they all support us so that the salespeople can really go out and just focus on the business of pitching and selling shows. The team is constantly on the road, as you can see. Those trips are just 2017 alone, so we're really out there all the time on the road. We have a consumer products division as well. We tend to look after a lot of our own homegrown brands and a lot of the shows that we work on, which are focused on the North American market quite a lot right now. We also do look to pick up licensing rights for third-party shows as and when it feels appropriate. So it may be that we look to acquire the rights for TV, DVD, and digital rights. And if we believe that there's a lot of potential for licensing, we will pick that up as well. But we won't pick up those rights just to have them. It's because we're really going to work on them. So acquisitions, what are we looking for? Here's a wish list, really. I'm particularly interested in European produced, acquired, developed shows because we actually have, a lot of business and a lot of fantastic relationships with studios in North America, both in Canada and the US. And there's so much amazing production and development going on in Europe. So I'm very interested in looking at shows coming from here. Again, creatively led shows. We really like to mimic our own production values, which is kind of excellence across the production and really strong creative visions. We're looking for the same thing when it comes to acquisitions. Really, to be honest, we're looking for anything brilliant for any age group, but there is definitely a demand for bridge programming for the 4 or 5 to 7 to 9 age group, more or less. Great comedy shows for 6 to 11-year-olds are actually fairly elusive, with really fantastic writers on board, really funny stuff. We're very up for that. Obviously, anything that's good for co-viewing, family viewing as well. And it doesn't have to be, we do have quite a lot of programming which is curriculum-based, but we're really equally interested in just pure entertainment. And any format, it doesn't matter what it is. We do want shows that have global appeal, that are really universal in their appeal, and can speak to all audiences around the world. So when do we come on board? To be honest, we're not picky about that. So if you've got a fantastic concept and it's very, very early stage, but you really believe in it, and you haven't necessarily started developing it in full yet, I'm very, very happy to look at it, because you can often see the seed of potential very early on, and I'm sure most people in the room agree with that. But in an ideal world, and particularly if we haven't worked with you before or we don't know you, then it would be lovely to see a fairly well-developed Bible or treatment, to see some, at least get a sense of the early concept. If you have any scripts, that'd be fantastic, or at least 6 or more storylines or springboards. It's always brilliant to have an animatic or a proof of concept or a sizzle or anything that's going to demonstrate what you can actually do, how that will look in animation, simply because, if we find something that we believe in and you give us the tools to take it to market and actually to start securing partners, then that's a huge bonus. It's a huge step forward. And it also might be that if we don't have anything to show, that the next step will be to try and find a way for you to make something that we can take to market and show. So if that's possible, that would be great. And then, if we can find shows which already have a creative lead in place, so you already, it's coming from the head of somebody who's going to drive it, who's going to drive that vision, and who's going to keep it together, because it's crazy. animation is crazy. I don't know why anyone would work in animation. It's a ridiculous industry to work in. It's so expensive. It's so hard to make the money back. It's so hard to cover costs. So you have to have someone who just absolutely believes in it at the helm. And we're really always looking for that quality with the show that we pick up. So will we consider co-pros? Yes, co-production is a really big part of our business, actually. We're really experienced in co-production with other production companies and also with channels. And so we really understand about how that works and how to piece it together, and we're very keen on working that way. At the moment, we have really a lot on our slate, and so we don't like to overcrowd our development and production teams so that they don't have the resource and the ability to really focus on new co-productions. So for now, we've got a moratorium. We're just going to spend a few months trying to get the shows that we've got in development through to green light before we take on new shows. But that doesn't mean that we're not interested in hearing about shows which you're looking for co-production partners on, even if we can't come on board in the stage. We're really keen to find out about them. We're very interested in working with partners from all over the world. What we can offer also is that we have, because we have studio in Canada, Manchester and Dublin, is that we have access to tax credits in all those territories. So we are able to piece together finance plans and help with financing, hopefully in productive ways. So finally, why would you choose 9 Story? Well, first of all, because we really love animation. In fact, we love it so much that we trademarked it. We love animation. We have a really amazing sales team. We really have a huge amount of expertise across the board. And we're really nice people. We work transparently. We try to manage expectations of our partners. We have so many third-party production partners, and each one of those has created their own baby, and it's very important to respect that and to tailor to their needs and to have that open communication and to really enable them to work with us on the strategy for their brand. We try not to overpromise and underdeliver. And finally, because every single show that we pick up will be pitched in detail, tailored to that buyer at every single market and on every single sales trip for as long as is appropriate or relevant, as many times as is appropriate or relevant. It won't be packaged with other shows. We won't use it as a driver. We won't try and shove it in with other programming, a program of ours, for instance, that we want to sell. We'll only pick up shows for distribution because we love them. We think they're brilliant, and we're going to sit down with the creators and we're going to ask you to do a 3-hour pitch when we pick up a show so that the team really understands the DNA of that show, and so that we can hopefully pitch it with the same enthusiasm and energy and passion as the creator has for it. And so that's something that we look to do across the board at all times. So that's who we are, and please feel free to come and pitch to me anytime. Thank you very much.